Hello everyone, welcome back to Bear's Workshop. We are doing the 115th flyover of the Lucid factory today, and we're going to chit chat about it like we always do. So let me sit up here, see if I can get the whole beard in there. We don't want to leave that out. Let's see, we got 26 people on. We got 8 likes, so guys, go ahead. You know what to do on that like button. We got some activity here in the chat. JJ, John, let's go Lucid. Barry Schwartz, still looking for his car. Barry, have you gotten any indication that your car is on the way, that it's close? So let me know. I'm just kind of curious. Or if you're just like way ahead of the game. Good day on the market today. We're going to just take a quick look at that as we wait for everyone to join us. So I was happy with it because I have a lot more Nikola stock than Lucid stock, and Nikola is continuing to rise, so that is good. But Lucid also was up. So was Tesla quite a bit also, so that was nice. It took 115 to fly to see a good number of production errors. Well, we've seen more cars like that wrapped up, but we're assuming that the cars that used to be wrapped up previously were cars that weren't completed, and we're just assuming that the cars that aren't wrapped are the ones that are not ready to go, missing some parts or need some more work on them for whatever reason. But the cars that are wrapped appear to be the ones that are being delivered. So let's flip over to, we already flipped over that stock market page there. There we got the Lucid for today. Closed at 21.48, up 21 cents. It was as high as 21.78, and it opened at 21.11, and it was down to 20.78. Yesterday closed at 21.27. It's not a horrible day, not a great day for Lucid. Decent day. On the flip side, I was talking about Nikola. They're up 43 cents, which is over 7%. They were their high was 634, was just right at the end of the day, and their low was 575. You guys don't care about that except for JJ. So I should do some time lapses over the 115 flyovers. So show some progress over time. Yeah, it's a lot of work to get those together, but it is something that we could possibly do. And guys, 46 of you on and 11 likes. Help me out here. Throw a guy a bone. Got let's see, one other thing to show you. Let's see here. That was just put out. There we go. Lucid to report second quarter financial results on Wednesday, August the 3rd. Well, that was put out yesterday, but needs to be shared with you guys. Oh, you're going to wrap your car in orange, Barry? It'd be interesting. So anyway, that's what we're looking for, Wednesday, August the 3rd. So we got a couple of weeks, and we will be tuning in for that. And maybe we will restream that for you guys. Red Lucid is the best color, though, at Barry Schwartz. Yeah, that's what we have, is the red. The whatever it's called. I keep forgetting the name of it. Zenith Red. That's what it is. So yeah, that's what we have on order. So let's go ahead and start the video. There was a decent amount of cars out there today that were wrapped, and it looks like some of the cars that were at the top of the parking lot have been moved down. So we'll take a look at that. We'll pause it. I did not do a car count. Oh, geez, you got to talk to your wife, Barry. I know they make the final decisions on everything, but wow. Okay. Turn that microphone a little bit better. All right, we start off on the south side, and going over to the left. You know, those triangles over there in that parking lot area look kind of new, and I don't know what those are about. I don't know if that's just a low spot in the grading, and that's in water built up there. It's possible, because one of them has water in it, so telling us that there is a difference in the height of the grade. John, let's go listen. For the piece of the life, good job at Barry Schwartz. Just agree. Yeah, I know. All right. So you can see that the mega crane is still there. They're still disassembling that. I assume it's a monthly rental, so they have to get it back by a certain point before they get charged again. Otherwise, if it was a daily charge, it'd be busting that thing out of here as quick as possible. See all the supplies stacked up over there, and you can see the concrete that has been put in over by the docks. And all those docks apparently have doors now while they're still working on the walls. You can see all the HVAC units that the mega crane is set up there. So those are all looking good, and they're working on the membrane, the rubber membrane. Well, let's see, what are we drinking today? Got Mountain Dew. Bob says he's patiently waiting for his GT in gray with the 20-inch wheels. My wife wouldn't talk to me for 2 weeks because I didn't choose her color on our Model 3. Lesson learned. Is that a lesson, or did you really just have peace and quiet for 2 weeks? All right. Here we can see the SKD building. You can see the docks have some sort of doors already in there, so that's semi-sealed. I think those are going to be the quick raising doors. So that building is moving along faster than the other building, only because of its size, and it's a different contractor. Yeah, talking about my wife and my behavior it triggers my throat. That was directed at Barry. So yeah, all the walls are getting up. We still see concrete trucks are coming in and out of the building. So they're still getting the pours done, and that's going to take quite a bit. There's a lot of sections to do in there, a lot of square footage. So. And because they're able to drive the trucks in, they probably don't need either a very large pumping truck or any pumping truck, because they'll be able to drive in. There's the station where they do their clean outs for the concrete trucks, and the fact that they got 6 of them there says that they're just expecting a lot of trucks in and out. It takes each concrete truck driver 10 to 15 minutes to clean out his truck, clean out all the concrete that remains behind, because they don't let that dry in there. I just had some concrete put in recently, and I watched these guys doing the concrete right in front of me, and it spent about 10-15 minutes cleaning it all up. So you need several stations. See, there's a look in there. It kind of looks like there's concrete on the floor in there, at least in this section down there. It looked like there was, but it's really hard to say. See, they're getting the rubber membrane on top of the little I don't even know what we're calling it, the line for the paint shop, or to get them over there. Barry Schwartz, at least 1,117 based on the recall details. But that's total production, because that's going to count before Q2. But that kind of did give us an update when that recall came out, that there was at least that amount as of the recall that were produced. Though we still don't know if that would count the cars that were actively in the lot. And I remember we counted, it was over 200. We're just going to have to wait till August 3rd. Not that far away, so that's good. On the east side, we can see it just about all the walls are up. There's a couple spots that they've left open, like that one right there. I think one of the reasons for that is just that's just an access point, and that will be closed up at some point in the future. John, let's go. So that's before 3/4, so that wasn't even second quarter. So I'm not sure if that date is right, but I'm not looking. 11 days. 11 days, Barry Schwartz says, for the earnings report. Will be interesting. So we're headed north on the factory. You can see the rubber membrane on the roof is probably 25%. That area on the left, that's just shiny. There's no membrane down here. It's all the white stuff. I think they changed direction of the material that they're putting on so it reflects off the sun differently, or they're using a different type of material, but I've got no reason to think that, except it just looks slightly different. And as we're flying here, by the way, there was some talk about storms in Coolidge and Casa Grande over the weekend, and there were some storms. It doesn't look like the Casa Grande site here got hit very hard. We don't see a lot of water, but we do see some areas where the water did puddle up, and you can see like the dirt marks on the roof. That's where the water drains to, and it ends up leaving dirt behind because it doesn't all go down. So you can see when you see that it tells you where the slope of the roof is. This area right here, we're going to pause this for a second. This is where this is going to connect to right here, and going to turn left and then go up here and connect to the other building. We can also see the caissons down here. This is for that, but there's also some other footings right here. So it looks like there's a possibility that there may be something else right outside of here. It could be for an entryway, or it could just be part of the structure. Like the video, it's free. Yes, guys, do hit it. It's free to hit the like button. So please do. Don't be shy. If it hurts your finger, I'll get you a Band-Aid. Otherwise, I think you'll be fine. As we're moving across, we can see plenty of employees out there, and we see the body in white building just at the top of not at the tippy top of the screen, but in the mid top. Zooming in, we go right past it, and we're going to look at that stamping building. That's the foundation for the stamping machines, and that is quite the structure that they have to build for those stamping presses. Yes, Doug, we were talking about the price of Nikola a little earlier, and yes, that was pretty nice to see it up several days in a row. Nikola and Lucid to the moon. That's what I'm hoping for. All right, and this is more steel that's being staged probably for that stamping building, because the body in white building looks pretty close to framed up. I don't see anything really missing. Over here we see more of the steel staged, and we've got some of the extremely large beams that are also waiting, which might be for, well, it's going to be for something overhead. We can see some of it is already, some of that large gray beams have already been installed. We'll see it when we come around. Hello from sunny Florida. That's from David Keating. I've lived in Florida, and I've been there plenty of times. I've got a lot of relatives there. Where in Florida, Mr. Keating? Thanks for getting some like buttons on there, some likes. We're up to 36 now. Appreciate that, you guys. So as we're flying west here, we're going to zoom in on that stamping building, and you can see that structure is getting bigger. I don't know if you guys caught it a couple weeks ago. I said that this building itself had to get an exemption for height, because it goes over the normal height allowance in Casa Grande, which this building is going to be 90 feet. So you can see that this structure is taller than all the other buildings on site. You can see the steel beams staged on the other side, and right over here, we missed it. Cut it right there. We're going to stop. Some of those beams are already in place. Like this one right here is actually up, hanging off the walls, and those could be for the cranes that go overhead when they change out the forms or the dies on the stamping building. They have to use they can use an overhead crane, and that might be what's that for. So here's our cars down here on the bottom. Let's go back just a little bit here and see if there's any others going back out. There we go. So this isn't the clearest picture, but you can see we've got some over here and quite a few down there. And we've got 4 cars on the charging stations. When we zoomed in, we lost the ones on the left. But you see all these empty spaces up at the top now. That was packed full of cars, so it looks like some of them have been brought down to here and hopefully getting shipped. Fort Lauderdale. Okay, I've actually used to work in Fort Lauderdale a long time ago. Lived in Coral Springs and Pompano Beach. Might have been neighbors. Yeah, I lived probably a couple miles from where Warren Redlick lives right now, which is ironic. I wonder if I knew him as a kid, because I was very young when I lived there. But you never know. Maybe he went to the same elementary school as I did, Coral Springs. Okay, then we've got that area on the left where they're just staging supplies, and we still have that white tent on the right, which still have no clue what that's for. Saw the 4 cars there on the left that were getting charged. We got the car wash station up here. This is the car wash station. These cars obviously have been washed because they've been wrapped. We've got cars lined up here. They were down here a couple views ago, but we've just got that. Actually looks like a Pure. We've got a white roof on a car right there, and that one almost looks like it has some sort of plate on it. Interesting. Might have maybe that gives us a little hint of what's going on with that car. That could be a manufacturer plate. They are blue, so it is possible that is a test Pure. Nice. A little bit of information. Hello from San Diego from Bob. Wonder if they're willing to give a factory tour for folks willing to travel the factory for delivery. The answer to that question is no. They are not giving tours, and the people that they have let in have to sign NDAs. So if you were allowed in there, you couldn't take pictures, and you would not be allowed to talk about anything that you see. I mean, I'm not saying it still wouldn't be worth it, but they are not letting people in. So, for like public, if you're press and they're having a big thing, they'll let you in. But overall, no. Yummy. All right, now we're hey Tyrell, yeah, you're late, you get a demerit. Just one. As we're flying over here, we're going to be able to see the docking area and the progress that's been made on there. And you can see that they've put the doors on just the area where the concrete is. Not sure how much further they're going to go down yet. This is the staging area, and this area where all these supplies are right here. This is all going to be phase 3, which will probably start early next year. When they finish phase 2, they're going to go right into it. That's all the construction employees parking lot, and this is our usual spin to the west to make sure we don't miss anything. Those trailers that you see at the bottom of the screen are for Tractor Supply. They have a distribution center right there. Taking a quick zoom in, we can see the mega crane partially disassembled. See the areas where most of the walls have been put up, and there's guys actively working on it. You can see that right there. There's a crew working on it, putting up the walls. And that is the cut building number 2 or 3. I'll see if I bear any news on the Lucid Air Pure. No, except for the one that we saw in the parking lot looked like it had a plate on it. So, and it looked like a manufacturer's plate. Hard to tell, we're 1,000 feet away, but that's what it looked like. And if that's the case, that means that is probably one of their testing vehicles. Tyrell says, I'm hearing one of the concrete plants are going away in the area. I haven't heard anything like that. There's a lot of concrete plants around there. I forget the name of the place. Cemex, I think it is, or Cemex. They've got a lot of plants around this area of Phoenix. Central Utility Plant. I'm not sure. Thoughts on Foxconn's prototype looking very, very similar to Lucid Air. Yeah, it's. I haven't seen it in a while, but the last picture I saw of it, it was extremely similar. But you know what? I'm not trying to knock the Chinese, but you've seen them grab a lot of things that look very similar to other things. So they really don't mind doing that. And that intellectual property theft or borrowing, but you see that a lot coming from China, which is unfortunate because they are making a lot of cars out there, and there's a lot of original stuff. If they could not steal, that would be nice. That would be nice. So here we're flying back, see the stamping building again, and get an idea of how much taller it is than the rest of the site. It's quite a bit bigger, and that is just a small section. That's probably like 15% of the size of the stamping building, because it's going to cover this entire area. This entire area is going to be covered with building, but they still got a ways to go. But that the bottom area is making a lot of progress also. They're getting all those walls up. So you guys got any questions? Let's throw them out there. If there's something you want me to rewind to, or an area that you have questions about, please say something in the comments. Start looking at those two buildings that they have, and they almost look incredibly small. Central utility plant is the cup. Okay. Is the P really plant? Because plant makes me think of something much larger than that. They have several of the cup buildings around the site, and like I said, that one's number 2. I think there's already a 1, and I think there's also going to be a 3. Those are on the site plans that I've seen. Anyone know why Elon is talking so much about Lucid lately? I think a lot of it is because people keep asking him about it. Video, that was obviously the end of the video. We came up with our Patreon screens, and I want to throw out a thank you to all the Patreons. We do appreciate your support. I'm just going to rewind the video as long as we have chat going. And we've got 90 people on, and I bet some people showed up late and they missed some of this. So Tyrell says Microsoft, that's what did they call them? Okay. Don't ask me, I'm not sure. Where do you find the plans? I had to do a lot of digging, and I had to actually go to Casa Grande and talk to people there. I had to submit a form to get them, and it wasn't quick, but I'm not going to say painless. It didn't hurt, but it took a couple of weeks of going back and forth, because somehow my request got lost. But that's how you get those. What do you think about June production? How much they made? So let's talk about that. So August 3rd is going to be the earnings report. Let's see some numbers. We mentioned this on Nicola to get production numbers. So for people making guesses, so I want to hear your guys' guess in the comments. Put in how many you think they produced / how many they delivered. And the winner, we're going to do this for the next couple of weeks until we get to the earnings report. The winner, who's going to say, hey, I was the one who's closest, is going to get a brand new. I will email this and scan it in. No, I will mail you this Lucid Air. You could be the first one to have a silver Lucid Air. Look at that. Is that not impressive? All right, so let's see some numbers, guys. What do you think? Give me production and then deliveries. Hello, Olivia. Quarter 2. Barry Schwartz, your total or June? I want quarter 2. Peter Pett, 1,200 produced, 850 delivered. And I'm not going to put out my guess because I don't want to influence anybody, because I don't. People probably think I've got some sort of secret knowledge of this, but I am going to not put out a guess on this one. But let's see those comments. 1101 produced, 699 delivered. Okay. I know we're going to get someone who's going to say 5,000 produced and 2,500 delivered, or 4,000 delivered, but we're going to see who's going to be that guy. It's not going to be me. You guys see over here in this corner on the bottom left of the screen was the AC units that still have to be put up. Those are going to go on the stamping building and onto the body and white building. I don't think they will meet their estimates of quarter two. What were the estimates for quarter two? I know that they had estimates for the full year. That's going to be rough. Still trying to get the 12 to 14,000. We got a 1432 produced, 774 delivered. All right, guys, what I want you to think about when you're making your guesses, you need to think how many cars are laying around, because most of the cars that they have not delivered are in that parking lot. Some can be inside, but they just don't have a lot of storage inside. We know that because they're storing supplies and they're taking up the waiting area parking lot. So the difference between production and deliveries can't be more than what can fit in that parking lot, unless they're putting them somewhere else, but no one's really reported anything like that. That guy probably come from the future to guess 5,000 production and 2,500 delivered. Yeah, I thought we were guessing quarter three. I'm living in 2023. Let's see, Ben says 950 produced, 700 delivered. And David says, nice Hot Wheels. Yeah, I ordered 10 of them. And then also, I got them real cheap. But I also had another one sent to me by Brian for my test of the weekend. He got his hands on a couple, so he sent one to me. Octavio says, I'm sorry to say this, but they are on track to miss the yearly numbers again. One thing to keep in mind is that Lucid said at the beginning of the year that they expect production to ramp after second quarter. So we are after second quarter. We are 21 days after second quarter. So this is when they think that they're going to start ramping up and being able to produce. They reiterated their 12 to 14,000 on quarter two or quarter one earnings call. So they still thought that they were on track at least 3 months ago. Less than that. So let's see what they have to say. Obviously, if they say that they're not going to do 12 to 14, the stock's going to take a hit. We all know that. I mean, they are burning cash. No question about that. And they need to start bringing in some cash. At a 1255 and a 955 delivered. I kind of like that number. Those are decent guess. Though whatever guess I would make would be very conservative. And we are going to play this like The Price is Right. If you go over your screen, no, we're not going to do it like that. We're just going to do the closest. And if someone's closer on delivered and someone's closer on produced, we'll give one Hot Wheels to each one of those two people. Who's ever closest, not for both, but for either one. Who's ever closest on either one, I will mail them a Hot Wheel. So this is that area again where they're going to connect to this building. We're going to zoom in for that, and I believe in a moment. There we go. That's going to be cool to see that go up, because I like the little bridge that takes the cars from one building to the other. Too bad it wasn't like all see-through glass, because I know it's not going to be. The other ones weren't. And we could see the cars going by. That would be incredible. I think the produced to delivered numbers are not close because of the recall issue. Had so many cars sitting for several weeks in quarter two. It's true, but I don't think we ever saw more than 300 cars sitting. I know it was close to 300. I don't even think it was. Do they start delivering to Europe? I don't know. You know who? Barry Schwartz would know that answer, and he just answered. I know Barry closely monitors that. So I'm liking your answers. You guys aren't being overly optimistic. You're being realistic. There's another view of the stamping building. And like I said, that's going to be quite the structure there. How much they produce monthly, I believe it's been ramping up. It seems like it might be. I don't want to be overly optimistic, but I mean, there's just a lot of cars there, and we constantly see a lot of activity with cars coming in and out. I know there's a lot of pages where they're tracking deliveries. Barry, I wonder if you've had any interaction with that, and if you're aware of like maybe VIN numbers or anything like that. Not that you can rely on those, because you can't, because you can skip VIN numbers, and they don't always go in order. Because we saw cars out there sitting in the waiting area that for a couple of weeks that were missing some trim parts, what looked like missing trim parts, which means they couldn't deliver them. Bob's impressed with the pace of construction and the changes from flyover to flyover. Yeah, that steel went up very quick, and I mean honestly, to build a 2.7 million square foot factory from groundbreaking in April-ish to maybe the groundbreaking was a little bit earlier, but to have that done by Q1 of next year. So it's a lot of work, and maybe the entire building won't be set up when they open up the building, but there's still going to be stuff going on in there. Expanding the Lucid Air production line, and also starting the Gravity line. But I don't think they're going to set the Gravity line up first, because they haven't even rolled that out to show us. So, you guys think I should order a Gravity? What do you guys think about that? I don't know if you guys are on Twitter. Check out a post I put up earlier. We actually had all 5 EVs that we own are here on site, which is a rare occurrence. So we lined them up and we took a picture of them and we put them up on Twitter. So if you guys get a chance, take a look at that on Twitter, and let me know if you think I should also go for the Gravity. I still want to see more than just a rendering. Got to see the car. Barry says, my bigger question is how many of those customers who confirm their orders, what percentage are not going to go through and canceling? Well, that's something that's going to happen on all the manufacturers right now. All of them are actually taking orders, which is just so. Up until a year ago, 2 years ago, it's been uncommon. Tesla started with the orders, and now everyone's joining the bandwagon. Some of them are so far behind that they're not even taking orders anymore. For example, Ford is not taking orders for their Bronco, for their Mavic, for the Mach-E, and I think a couple other cars. Then you have, who else is not taking orders? Well, Rivian is, you can't order from Hyundai or Kia. You can't order from the factory, but you can order from a dealer. But there's just a big backlog of orders. Chevy Corvette you cannot order right now. That is, you can get on waiting lists, but you can't make a reservation for one. Lucid just announced 2 big hires for operations and logistics. They announced that today. I did see that, but it's not people I know of. So it wasn't something that I really cared about. I'm wondering, if I didn't read the article, but I'm wondering if they replaced anybody, or they just added on, because there's been complaints from like Warren Redlick about too top heavy for management. Ben asked if you can order a Gravity right now. No, you cannot order them. And Ben also says he's not missed a single flyover. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I appreciate that support. Let's see. Yeah, I'm talking about when they announce, when they open up the orders for that, if I should jump on that first day and get the order in. And if I do, I see the problem with that is I would never order, like, if they have a dream edition of the Gravity, I would not order the most expensive one, and that's what they're going to start production with. So no matter what I order, it's still going to take a long time. But if they have like a Gravity Pure, which is what I would order, I'll be first on that list because I'll get on that one. At least these reservations won't have a 3 to 5 year wait. Well, yeah, but it depends on when Lucid had the same issue. There's people that ordered quite a long time ago, but I'll probably get on that Gravity day one. Still on the fence if I should order a Rivian. That was something that me and my son were talking about today, whether I should order a Rivian. It's $1,000 down. Of course, it's refundable, but he said no, don't do it because they've got too many quality issues. But by the time they got to me on the list, would they get those quality issues resolved? That's the question. And if they don't, I can always cancel. Michael says 1150 over 1,000. It's not a bad guess. Oh, let's see. Yeah, I am also waiting on a Cybertruck. That is going to be 3 to 5 years. I put my reservation in late also. I put it in February of 21 of last year. So, and there's not a Cybertruck to be seen. But we'll see what happens. And Barry says, sounds like people love the Rivian. Yeah, but there's a lot of comments about things being wrong on it. So that makes me nervous. It's just the quality. And I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But if I do want to make a jump on that, I want to do it soon before they raise prices again. Because that sucks because I missed out on the original pricing. For Gravity, just sign up for the wait list. I probably am on that wait list. I've probably signed up for notifications. I get emails from Lucid's marketing all the time. All right. So you guys got anything else to add? Please do now. I want to thank everyone for being here. I'm not cutting it right now, but I'm just giving you a heads up. Get your questions in right now. Like, when do you think the Cybertruck will come? Late next year is my guess. Late next year. And I ordered the tri-motor. I will probably end up upgrading to the quad motor unless it's insanely expensive. Because now that they've changed the configurations around but haven't released price, but we're gonna have to see what happens. So I'm not looking for it for like 3 years. And we'll see what happens on that. Let's see. Fei Wong says if the release is 2024, they would need to have the reservations open in 2023 at least to know the demand and work with suppliers to order the parts ahead of time. I expect them to debut in 2023. Well, yeah, they have said that they are going to debut it in 2023. I think there was hope for it in Q1. We will have to see what happens with that. But if I'm not on the wait list, I'm going to get on it and I'll put in my reservation for that. Why go with the top-of-the-line Cybertruck but not the top-of-the-line Gravity? Good question, easy answer. Right now, the way things stand, the top-of-the-line Cybertruck is $69,000. At least it was when I made my reservation. The top-of-the-line Gravity is probably going to be comparable to the Lucid Air, which means it could be anywhere from $139,000 to $149,000. It's a huge price difference, and just probably out of my budget for what I'm going to be using it for. So that's my explanation. I think it's reasonable, but you never know. We'll have to see what trim levels come out and where they're priced at. I just don't I expect them to start like $70,000 or $80,000, which is still going to be expensive. So we'll have to see how it goes, because I'm not enjoying getting vehicles with a range under 300 miles, which the Ioniq 5 and the Polestar are. So those are a little bit harder to drive around town. So just want to remind everybody, our next live stream is going to be next Monday For the Nikola site, we're going to do the same thing, but with Nikola. And then we will follow that by the following Tuesday, next Tuesday, we will do our live stream with Brian, Fast Charging with B&B, where we sit around and we chit chat about all things EV. And if we have Nikola news and if we have Lucid news, we will definitely talk about it. And then we'll be back here again on Wednesday doing the flyover of Lucid. And we can all look at the differences between the two videos. Maybe we'll do a comparison if somebody reminds me. So that's going to be about it for today. I want to thank everyone for showing up. Hit that like button on your way out. And I really appreciate you guys being here. And if you got anything more to add, throw it in the comments. The comments will stay open for another couple minutes before the stream shuts down. So I will answer anything that's directed at me. And thanks everyone for being here.